All right. As everyone is coming in, let me know in the chat if you can hear me, if you can see me, if you can see my screen. Yeah, I'm solo right now, so make sure you guys hop into the chat as we get started. Good to go. Thank you, Graham. Also, introduce yourselves. Let me know who you are, where you're coming in from. I don't want to feel like I'm talking to myself for 30 minutes, so it'd be great if you guys could jump into the chat and let me know where you're at. My name is Maura. I'm the marketing manager here at Shogun. I live right outside of DC. It's a beautiful 55 degrees today. Yeah, so I'm excited to be doing a webinar with you guys. Liam from Massachusetts, from California, Justin's from Orlando. Love it. Hello, hello, hello. All right, so as we're getting in, before we kick off, I'm just going to do some quick housekeeping. If you have not been to a Shogun webinar, welcome. I'm so excited you guys are here. I know it takes a lot to take some time out of your day. And I'm excited you can be with me. So as we're going, this is recorded. We are recording. If you have to go, if something pops up, if you want to share this with your coworkers, don't worry, we're recording. You guys will get the recording later this afternoon. It might be this evening, depending on your time zone, but a recording will be sent out and will be available. I love seeing everyone from the chat. Ooh, Hawaii, very jealous. Okay, that goes into my next point. Please use the chat. Let us know where you're at. Comments. Our team is on there. I'm the only one live right now hosting, but our team is in the chat. So they really want to know what you are thinking as we are sharing these different features. So please use the chat. We're going to do a Q&A at the end with Andy and Reese from our product team. They will hop on live. They'll be answering your questions. If you have a very specific question about your account, if you're trying to do something in Shogun, we probably won't be able to answer it live. I'm going to direct you to our support team at support@getshogun.com. They are fantastic. They'll be able to help you. If you have a question about one of the features, about what we're planning, let us know. But just know, like, if you have something really technical, we're probably not going to be able to dive into it. However, we still want to know your questions. We want to know your thoughts. We want to know what's going on as we dive into this webinar. So I'm going to kick off. We're going to do some demo videos as we go. But yeah, let's get this party started and let's talk about optimizing your store with Shogun. Okay. All right, so here's how this started. How our journey into optimization started is we are a page builder. We've been one of the top page builders in the App Store since I think 2015. It might be 2014. Someone correct me in the chat. I believe it's 2015 or 14. It's been almost 10 years that we have been a page builder. And that's not going to change. Our visual editor is not going anywhere. But what we've noticed over the last few years is the market has changed, the industry has changed. We've all been through it with the pandemic, with how people are shopping. Everything is different. And we know that our merchants need more than just a page builder. We know you need more than just beautiful pages. That's super important. And you can always do that with Shogun. However, what we've seen, and we're calling it the science of site optimization, right? You want your pages to be working harder for you. So last year, at the end of the year, we talked to dozens of merchants. Some of you might be on this call. Is this an update presentation or welcome? This is an update presentation, Graham. We're going to get into new features. I'm just giving everyone a little bit of a background. Last year, we spoke to a lot of people about what they needed, what was happening in Shogun, or what was happening in their markets. What did they need from us? How could we help them? What features can we build? So this is what we heard from them. And it's probably not going to come as any surprise to you what we've heard. Inflation has hit shopping carts. People are pinching their pennies. That third-party cookie is crumbling. Data is changing. Legislation is changing around privacy. It is harder to retarget people. It is harder to remarket people. And because of that, pay-per-click has become a losing battle. There were great days of very cheap Meta ads and Instagram ads. Those are harder to come by now. You can't just turn on an ad campaign and see the dollars roll in, unfortunately. And finally, we heard a lot of budgets are being cut. People are working with smaller teams, working with smaller budgets, and yet they're still being asked to do just as much. So this is what we heard last year. This is what we heard from merchants like yourself. And fortunately, it's not all doom and gloom. Because what we also heard, and what we've been able to see firsthand, is brands are adapting and they're evolving. You all are learning to use emerging technology to work smarter and faster. AI came up a lot. We love hearing how you're using AI. You're shifting from paid channels to owned channels to, taking control of what you can control, really, is what we're saying. Like you're looking at your sites, you're looking at your marketing, and you're saying, what can we own so that we're not at the whims of Instagram or Google or whoever. And we're seeing a lot of focus on good user experiences and good shopping experiences that you want to give your customers. You want to give them the best when they come to your site. And we love hearing that because we want to help you do that as well. So that's what brings us to where we're at today about optimizing, right? Because our next chapter is here too. As I said earlier, we will always have a visual editor. You will always be able to design beautiful pages with our tool. But now we want you to be able to do more. We really want you to be able to optimize that site, to know that your site is working, to stop with the guesswork and the question mark and say, like, I know this page is working. I know this marketing strategy is working because I can see it in Shogun. So that's where we're starting. And we're starting with these 3 features that I'm going to show everyone today. Not actually. We're going to have some demos from the product team who actually knows how to use our tool amazingly. But we're going to dive into our A/B testing tool, our SEO tools, and then also targeted experiences. So these features are live in the app. If you are on Grow or Advanced, if you're in one of those plans, you can access these today. And if you have, I'd love to hear it. Let us know in the chat if you haven't. I hope that you're excited after this webinar and kind of want to get building. So we're going to dive in without further ado. Again, if you have questions, if you have thoughts, definitely let us know in the chat. Keep that going. I don't want to feel like I'm talking to myself for an hour. So don't let me, please. Okay, so let's get started with A/B testing. So as we kind of drop this, oh, hold on. My AirPod's falling out. I'm going to drop a poll because I would like to hear from everyone here if you're actively, are you actively A/B testing? There's a poll that I just dropped. Hopefully everyone can see it. Are you using A/B testing? Yes, you're regularly running tests. You're occasionally running tests. No, you're not running tests. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of no's right now. That's okay. That's what we're here for. A/B testing is essentially taking your 2 versions of the same thing, okay, is what you're doing with A/B testing. So we'll use a product page as an example. You have a product page, you want to test if, say, a different product photo does a little better. So you could run an A/B test where part of your traffic goes to this experiment page that's showing a different product photo. That is what A/B testing is. It's really uncovering like the true GMV of your pages. It's answering the question, like, are we leaving money on the table? Can we do more with our pages? As so many of you know, there's so many details that go into building a page. The fonts, the headlines, the copy, the social proof, the images, the videos, everything adds up to whether or not your page can actually perform, can actually, bring in money. And if your pages are not performing, if you're not absolutely certain that your page is performing as well as it can, it's going to impact your entire marketing cycle, right? You could have the best marketing campaign in the world, but if you're sending them to a page that's not optimized, that you're not absolutely certain is performing as well as it can, your whole campaign is going to suffer. Forgive me for the poor analogy, but like it's Super Bowl week here in America. So you could have the best quarterback in the entire world, but if he has no one to throw to, he's not the best quarterback. So it's kind of similar. Like if your pages are not optimized, if you're not certain because you're not A/B testing, your campaigns can suffer on a whole. So we want to stop that. We want to make it easier for you to A/B test your tools. So I'm going to end the poll because it sounds like most people are not running A/B tests, and that's okay. And we are going to dive into our first demo, which is A/B testing. So let me know if you can see that and if you can hear it. Oh, you can't hear it. Great. No audio. Okay, hold on. This is why we use the chat. We're going to stop sharing. We're going to share screen. We're going to share sound. All right. Let's try this again.
Hey, how's it going? Reese here from the Shogun product team, and I'm really excited today to walk through how to get an A/B test launched in Shogun. So, from our dashboard here, let's go ahead and click Create an A/B test, and I'm going to pick my Valentine's Day sale page as the page that I want to run a test on. I have a lot of traffic planned coming to this page for some upcoming promotions, and I want to make sure I have the opportunity to run an A/B test to make sure that I'm optimizing my traffic spikes. So, we can see the page in the editor here. And our next step is going to be to create a page variant. So in this test, what I want to do is compare the performance of different background images for my hero section to see what drives the most clicks, the most engagement. I'll go ahead and click Create a Variant here, and we'll go ahead and create that variant. You can add as many variants as you'd like. You can go. So we support multivariant testing beyond just A/B testing. And you can see that we're splitting the traffic evenly 50-50 across these two variants. If you'd like more control over how much traffic goes to each variant, you can toggle this off, and then maybe you want to do, for example, a 60-40 or 70-30. You have that flexibility ultimately. For this demo, I want to go ahead and split the traffic evenly across each variant. While that's going, now we can do now what we can do is drill into the different variant here and make our content change. As you can see, these variants look very similar. We duplicate your default variant whenever we create a new variant. So what we're going to do now is make a content change. So we're going to go ahead and let's go ahead and throw in maybe this nice image here. And we have now two versions of our page. This page here, which with a different hero image, and then our default page with our original image here. What we can do now is publish our test, and now our test is launched. Once we go to the live page, we will check it out. Check it out now. Our test is currently in progress, and if we go to our live page, we're now going to get dropped into the random distribution according to our traffic split here. So let's go ahead and drop into the live page and see what we get. So we've now been served the Hero Banner 2 variant, as we can see. If I refresh this page, we're going to keep seeing the same variant because we want to lock in that shopper to see a consistent experience, so they're not thrashed between different variants. For sake of the demo, what I'm going to do is throw in this thing in the URL, and we can see how Shogun is now randomly distributing the traffic across different shoppers. So what you'll do now is use Shogun to view your test data. So within Shogun, you can go to our A/B testing analytics section to view conversion rate, session rate, how much sales are getting driven through each page, and start to form a good idea about what variant is the winner. Once you're done and ready to go, you can navigate into the Shogun editor here and simply toggle off your test, pick whichever winner you want to move forward with, and promote and publish that winner, and that will become your new page. And yeah, it's as simple as that. We have improvements on the way, and you'll hear about more in the next section. Thank you.
All right. So that's a little brief look into our A/B testing tool. What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat what you think about that tool. If you could use it. Elaine's got questions. Love it. Keep those questions coming. Because we will be able to answer them. Again, Reese is going to hop on later after we're done with that. But that's just a little peek into our A/B testing tool. And I do want to tell you that we have customers who are already using our A/B testing tool. We had a customer, they did a 70-30 split. So they sent 70% of their traffic to the original and 30% went to their test page. And they saw a 2% increase in add to carts just from that test. That wasn't even a true 50-50 test. So they're discovering like, hey, we might be leaving money on the table. And that 2% add to cart, that can add up really fast. So that's just one way that some people are starting to see results with A/B testing. We're really excited to see more come in. We want to hear about all the sales that are coming in because of A/B tests. All right, so we're going to move on to our next suite of new features. We already went to demo, but we're going to talk about SEO a little bit now. So I'm going to do a thing again where I ask a poll because I want to hear what you're doing with SEO. And specifically, I want to know if you are doing blogs. So I want to know if you're, hold on, let me go back to my polls. I want to know if you're actually publishing blog posts right now. Let that come in, and we'll talk a little bit about why that's important when we get into the search engine optimization, which is what SEO is. So most of you are actively publishing blogs. Awesome. We love to see it. Blogs are very, very important. Okay. So as that comes in, here is what you guys need to know about SEO. This is all about you taking control of your organic traffic strategy. As I mentioned earlier, paid ads are just not what they used to be. You just can't turn them on anymore. A lot of changes have happened. There's been legislation changes. Things have gotten more competitive. The algorithms have changed a lot. So it's not as easy to rely on the social media and Google to bring in that traffic. It can still be a piece of what you're doing, absolutely, but it can't be the whole pie, so to speak. So you really need to be looking at your SEO. You need to look at the organic traffic that's coming into your store and to understand like where it's coming from. So that's what these suite of tools is all about. Is how you can reduce your reliance on paid ads and create sustainable traffic. This is just good foundational work. SEO is really, it's just part of a foundation because it can work for you for years and years and years to come. We have two new tools that can help with this. We have a keyword analyzer, and then we have a content creation co-pilot. It's quite a mouthful, but they are very cool. So we're going to dive into those now. I'm going to let Andy take charge on that. And again, let me know in the chat if you can't hear me.
Hi, everyone. I'm Andy, a product manager at Shogun. I'm excited to walk you through a new feature that we're releasing today to customers on Grow and Advanced plans called our SEO Keywords Analyzer tool. You can find this tool by going to the SEO tab here in the left-hand navigation and going down to the Keywords tab here. One thing to note is the first time you land on the screen, there'll be a button that says Run Audit. Click that button to go ahead and get this process started. It can take 15 to 20 minutes for your audit to run fully. While the process runs, feel free to work as you normally would in Shogun. Just become sure to come back and check out the results once your audit is finished, and you'll get a little notification once it's taken place. So I want to take a minute just to talk about the goals of what we're trying to help our merchants do with this new tool. One thing we hear a lot from merchants is that they don't have a great understanding, or they'd love to learn more about what kind of traffic they're bringing in today. So what we're doing here is taking your domain and pulling in all of the organic keywords driving traffic to your store. And organic traffic is just when somebody types in a specific term into Google, where does your site rank for that term? Where are you showing up in Google search results organically? And the reason this is so important is because organic traffic can be a huge source of potential customers. You have people who are looking for your product or similar products. Depending on what kind of search they're doing, they may be ready to make a purchase. So really understanding who is coming to your site and what they're looking for can help you not only optimize existing pages on your site, but as we'll see in another video, we can also do some work to generate content to try to rank more highly and improve our authority for a given term. So what are we actually looking at here on the screen? Like I said, we're pulling in all of the organic traffic for a given website's domain, yours. In this case, we're looking at the data from a sporting goods store. So you can see a lot of the keywords that are driving traffic to our site are things related to bikes, biking, helmets. We have tennis rackets, tents, all sorts of squash, aqua shoes, all sorts of terms associated with different URLs on our site. So in addition to pulling in the keywords themselves, we're also providing a bunch of different information to help you assess which of these are good opportunities for you to try to go rank more highly for, understand what people are doing on your site. So you can see here we have a ranking, which is the position that we're showing up for in Google's organic search results. In this case, we're showing up as the first organic search result for this decathlon track 100 term. CPC, which is the amount that marketers are paying in paid ads from CPC, for impressions against this term. So if you want to go and try to rank for it in terms of paid ad, this is what you pay, at least at the time of the audit. The difficulty, which is an estimate of how hard it would be to rank highly for a term. So you can see for this one, we're assigning a score of 24, which we're saying is not that difficult to go rank highly for. The kinds of things that are really hard to rank highly for, typically branded terms, anything with a lot of generic search interest, anywhere there's a lot of competition, those can be more difficult to go rank highly for. So you want to think long and hard about going and trying to optimize, create new content for those versus trying to solidify your position if you've got a good ranking for a difficult term. This is the average number of searches for this term per month over the previous year. So you can see for Decathlon Track 100, we got 13,000 searches per month over the last 12 months, at least at the time that the audit was run. And then URLs is the specific URL on your site that's showing up in this position for this term. So this is the URL. It's like a collections page that's showing up when customers are searching Decathlon Track 100. And then finally, intent. This is like what the searcher for a specific term is trying to accomplish by searching for something. So in this case, we've actually assigned a couple different intents to the same term. So navigational, which typically somebody's trying to find a login. Classic navigational search term would be like Shopify login. They're looking for the page where they can go log into Shopify. And then transactional. So the person is actually trying to complete a transaction, buy something. So that's good news for our collections page here, since presumably this is a good place for a customer to go find something to buy related to this term. And then in the action section, we're going to be able to generate some content. We're going to be able to generate blog content using AI to go try to rank more highly for this term. But I'll show that in a separate video. One other really important thing to call out here is that we're not just pulling in the keywords themselves, but we're actually doing this process of clustering using artificial intelligence. And what clustering means is taking similar sounding but distinct search terms and grouping them together where we think that they have the searcher has the same intent. So let's see if we can find a good example of a cluster and what it's doing here. Pressure bicycle is a good example. So you can see here that we have a few different distinct terms. So we have tire pressure for hybrid bike, tire pressure bicycle, tire pressure calculator bicycle, tire pressure on bikes, tire pressure on bicycle. So in bicycle. So these are all nominally different terms, but the searcher who's putting these into Google has the same intent regardless probably of which one of these that they put in. So the nice thing about grouping these in one cluster rather than attacking them individually is, one, we get a sense of the true overall search volume. So individually, each of these terms doesn't have a lot of search volume, but taken all together, there's actually a little bit of interest in this term, more than what we would have thought otherwise. It also is going to help us try to rank for multiple of these different listings. So instead of just trying to rank for the head term, where we're only going to pull off a little bit of traffic, if we can try to rank for all these different variations on the term with our link here, with our piece of content, then we're going to be able to attract more visitors and get more of this overall search volume related to this term. And then finally, I think anybody who's ever written for SEO knows the experience of repeating the same term over and over again, trying to make sure that you're really making your point to the crawlers when they're looking for SEO terms. Having some different variations of the term actually helps improve the writing in some ways, because it gives us different variations to try, different ways of talking about the same term without having to write the same thing over and over and over again. So that's what we're doing with the clustering, and this is what the feature looks like.
Okay, so that is a look at the first part, right? So that is our keyword analyzer. And now we're streamlining your SEO work, if you can tell. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to show you how you can create blog post using this tool. So this is the second piece. This is our content creation co-pilot. We're going to dive into that now. Again, let me know if you can hear, please.
Hi everyone, I'm Andy, a product manager at Shogun, and I'm excited to show you a new feature that we recently released called our SEO Keywords Content Creation Copilot. The way the feature works is it's very closely connected with our SEO Keywords Analyzer feature, which I showed in a different video. But essentially what we're going to do is take these keywords that we're already getting traffic to for our store, and we're going to try to write some supporting content to either solidify our position or try to rank higher for a given term. So now I'll show you what that workflow looks like. So we're looking at data from a sporting goods store, and one of the areas that we're making a major push in the next year is going to be around gloves. So I'm going to go ahead and look for a term that I think I want to try to rank more highly for. That's a good fit for some products I have in my store. I see that they've got these winter gloves for cyclists, not too difficult to rank for. I'm currently 35th, but I think this could be an area where I can do well. So let's go ahead and start generating some content. And this process can take a little bit of time. Essentially what we're doing is taking a bunch of the context about your store, your products, your collections, all your different pages, and then some information about this keyword, including the intent of the people who are searching for it. And we're sending it all off to an artificial intelligence model and asking it to come up with a topic for a blog that it thinks will help drive traffic to your store. This process can take a little bit of time while we send your information off to the model and we receive a response. So just hang with me while we finish this process. All right. So as you can see, in the first step of the blog post creation flow, we have a couple different fields that we can look at. The first is blog type. So the artificial intelligence model will actually recommend what type of post you should write, again, based on all the things that I mentioned previously about store context and the intent of the people who are searching for a specific term. In this case, it's recommending that we do a product post, which works for me because I have some good winter gloves for cyclists that I'm looking to highlight. We've got our page name, which in this case will be choosing the best winter gloves for cyclists, stay warm and in control. We can edit this field. And likewise, I should mention, you can always change which type of post you write if you want to do a how-to guide or comparison post or any of the other blog types that you see listed here. This will be our page URL, again, editable, although this is what AI recommends. And then here in the description box, this is basically what it sounds like. It's going to describe what the page will be like. And so we have this description, and essentially what this will do is act as the prompt for the AI model to actually go out and write the various sections and put together the blog post. So this is all editable. So if you wanted to specify something like tone, so use an authoritative tone, you could specify something like that. So yeah, this is all editable, and the model can take in lots of different kinds of requests. So you can always edit this, or if you'd like, you can always regenerate the settings for this page if you don't like the initial output. So in the next step, we're going to actually take a look at the topics that the model has generated against the prompt that we've given it. And this process can take a little bit of time as we send off the information to the model, and we'll wait for a response. All right, and now we have the actual sections. So you can see we have here is a bunch of different sections. All of these are rearrangeable. You can delete any of these sections or add them. Beneath each of the sections, we have our talking points. This is sort of like what's going to fill out like the meat of the actual blog post itself. Here you can specify the length of each of the sections. One other thing I want to point out is we're doing a product post, but the model will try to do this regardless. We'll pull in specific products from my store or collections. So basically, what it's trying to do is make the content of the blog fit with the things that you actually have in your store, to help you try to turn some of that traffic into sales directly within the blog itself. We can always add a topic here, and in the future, we'll also be able to allow you to reference other blog posts. So if you want to do some internal linking, to try to drive some more authority to your store, that will also be possible. But assuming we're good with the output here, these are the products that we want to highlight. Next, we can move on to a step where we'll actually be able to edit the final content. So in this stage, we'll actually see what the writing looks like. We're going to see what the model has written for these various sections. It's going to show up in a rich text editor. So basically, you'll be able to do any things that you'd be able to do in any other kind of text editor, which we'll take a look at in a second, make any final edits. And from there, we'll move on to actually generating the page. And now we have the actual blog itself. So the model has taken our sections. It's actually written out the content the way it said that it would, with a number of sentences per section. You can see that we're highlighting these specific products here and dropping in what will ultimately be some product boxes on the actual page itself. We're highlighting the specific product, the Gore-Tex glove, that we're interested in showing off. And then we have a couple other variants depending on what the particular customer may be looking for. We're also highlighting a glove liner that'll help with efficiency of heat, I guess. And then, our conclusion, we're showing off these set of products again. One other thing to note is that we have another option here, which is to generate the layout with AI. So if we don't click this option, essentially what you'll see on the page is whatever theme you have will adopt, but the layout will be very similar to this. It'll be a headline, some text, headline text, with the product boxes sprinkled in. If we click this button, AI will basically take all this information back and try to figure out what it thinks is the ideal layout for the page. Just can take a little bit of extra time, but let's go ahead and show it here. And here we have it. Here's the final output. So we have our sections. We have our product boxes with an add to cart button, added automatically. This page is editable just like any other page in the Shogun visual editor. So we can use our block library, add whatever layouts we feel like, make any changes that we want to the final output. But if we're comfortable with what we see here, then it's easy to save the page. Back to our SEO dashboard, where we can now see, if we type in, let's go back, we can see that we've generated a piece of content here, and that content will always be viewable to us from this dashboard or from the normal build pages dashboard where it's showing up here. Thanks so much for watching. We're really excited about this feature, and if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.
Okay, so that is our SEO tool. Again, let us know in the chat what you think. As a marketer who spends a lot of time writing, I love figuring out ways to use AI. So I think this is going to be really fun. And if you're not blogging, please start. I bought something off the blog the other day, Googling late night remedies for my baby, ended up buying a sleep suit off the blog. So anything's possible. Okay, so we are going to move on to our next tool that I'm very excited about to share with you guys, and it's called Targeted Experiences. So I'm going to hit you guys with some stats on personalization. According to McKinsey, companies that have personalized shopping experiences can generate up to 40% more revenue. The segment did a state of personalization survey a couple of years ago. This was in 2022, and they found that 60% of consumers are likely to become repeat buyers if they have a personalized experience with a website. And then Epsilon, this last one, 80% of consumers are more likely to purchase following a personalized experience. So you probably know already, because you're in e-com, personalization is key. It is so critical that you can offer a shopping experience that is designed for the person shopping. They want to see the products that are relevant to them. They want to see deals that are relevant to them. And before, it hasn't been easy to create these types of experiences, right? It's sometimes those tools are expensive. Sometimes you have to sign a long contract to get them. It just hasn't always been easy. And we wanted to change that. So this is what this new feature, targeted experiences, is all about. It is about personalizing the shopping experience. You can enhance your marketing campaign and create this cohesive shopping experience by tying together all the different content. So like your email marketing, your paid campaigns, your influencer campaigns, your sponsorships, all of these things can get that much stronger because you can take your site and you can personalize to whatever that content is in that different marketing campaign. So I am going to let Reese take it away with this final demo of targeted experiences. We are super excited about this one. Keep letting us know in the chat what you all are thinking as you're watching this.
Hey, how's it going? Reese here again, and going to talk through today how to get a target experience launched within Shogun, and then talk through some of our different options for slice and dicing your audience to deliver personalized experiences to different segments of your audience. So let's go ahead and launch a target experience for this page here called Homepage February. A homepage is a great place to launch a targeted experience because you have traffic coming to your homepage from all different sources. And if you can increase the relevancy of your page for different segments of your audience, you have a higher shot at converting them from shoppers to customers. So let's go ahead and enable targeted experiences for this page. And similar to A/B testing, you can create page variants and then match that page variant experience to that segment of your audience. So we have a list of my current segments here. Before we drill into these, I'd like to first talk through some of our targeting capabilities. So I'm going to go ahead and click create a new segment here, and that'll bring up our segment builder. Within our segment builder, you can target on a few different things. For one example is the referrer of where shoppers are coming from. So if you want to slice off all traffic coming from Google or Facebook, you can use this parameter here. If you want to target against a specific UTM parameter of a link you have in a paid ad campaign or email campaign, you can deliver a personalized version of your page to just that audience as well. In addition to referrer, we have the ability to target a shopper's location. So this might be something that's well known, but you have the ability to target a shopper's country. But to go even multiple layers deeper, we support the ability to target against a shopper's region or even a shopper's city. So we'll see an example of this in a moment. Finally, the third targeting type that we support today is an integration with Klaviyo. This here is a list of all my Klaviyo segments. So we're able to pull in and sync all of your lists and segments coming from Klaviyo, and you can now create a personalized version of your page for those dynamic segment audiences. Please note this does require access to Klaviyo's new customer data platform feature, and that's used behind the scenes to make this possible. Now, for this segment here, what I want to do is create a experience for my West Coast shoppers. So we're going to call this West Coast. And if we want to look at my West Coast segment, we can see that it consists of 3 conditions. And this segment will match if a shopper is located in any of these regions. So we have a region of California, a region of Oregon, and then a region of Washington. So I'm going to go ahead and add this variant here. And after this variant gets created, we're going to drill into this variant. And let's start to personalize the experience for these for this segment of my audience. So what I want to do with my West Coast shoppers is I want to make up my homepage hero banner have some ocean in it. They're on the West Coast. I know that they're by the ocean, obviously. So what I want to do is give them an asset that resonates more with them and their lifestyle. So before I publish this page, I want to show this targeting in action. So I'll go ahead and view the live page that currently everyone sees. So we can see our normal live page, our normal home page here. Now I'm going to go ahead and publish this targeted experience. And then once this publish goes through, I'm going to go ahead and revisit my home page and see the experience change. So I live in Santa Barbara in California, so I will get matched with the West Coast segment of my audience here. So let's go check it out. And boom, there you go. Now I am experiencing the personalized version of my page. It's the same URL. If I refresh this existing page here, we're going to get swapped over to that new version. So in a moment, I've now created a specific experience for all my shoppers that are on the West Coast. It's pretty neat. Let's go ahead and add one more, and this segment is going to be targeting folks coming from my email campaign. Within here, we have a UTM parameter called leap year sale. So let's go ahead and add a variant here and personalize the experience for people that are coming to my site through this email campaign. For these folks, let's go ahead and throw in a different image. Maybe you want to give them this one here. And they're on my email, so maybe they actually receive 40% off instead of the default 30% off site-wide. Okay, great. Let's go ahead and save this change. And what we'll do now is publish this change. And once the publish goes through, we'll visit the live page and then talk through the targeting again. So I'm going to visit this page. Now we're still seeing the West Coast segment. And what I'm going to do now is add a UTM parameter here called UTM source equals leap year. This is the same condition that I had in my segment. And when I visit this page, now what we're going to see is that third variant where we have now 40% off with this new custom background image for my email subscribers. So what we're seeing here is our segmentation engine at work. So the order of these variants will drive the order of what your shoppers see. If I'm a shopper and I belong to multiple segments, in this case I belong to the email campaign segment as well as the West Coast segment, because email campaign is ranked higher on my list here, I will see that segment first. If I'm not matched to either of these segments, then I'll be served the default page version. So this is really great. And as you start to drive traffic to these pages, you'll be able to gain insight through analytics in order to see key metrics for total sales, conversion rate, click-through rate, add to cart rates, of how each of these variants are performing head-to-head against one another. So it's a great way to get insight into how different segments of your audience are performing. And yeah, that's it for the demo today. Excited to take any questions and talk to you soon. Thanks.
Okay, that is look into our target experiences. This is our newest feature that has just recently gone live. I see lots of questions are coming in on the chat. I love to see it. We're going to bring Reese and Andy in a second. But those are our new optimization features that we are rolling out. Again, they are already live on Grow in Advanced. If you are on Grow in Advanced, you can start using these features today. But we have other stuff that is coming. We are not done with optimization tools. So here are some things that you can look forward to that are coming to Shogun. We're going to be doing improvements to our A/B testing feature. We are going to be looking into supporting additional targeting capabilities and improvements to SEO. And really, what we really love to know is what you all would want to see when it comes to these features. Do you want something like a competitor analyzer for SEO or branded keywords tracking? Is there some type of unique targeting that you want to see in targeted experiences? We are going to look to you all to tell us what you want to see, how we can make these features better for you. Now that we've done all the demos, we've done our presentation, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And I'm going to see if Reese and Andy can come up and join me live so that we can ask some questions. Ask and answer some questions. I love seeing everyone in the chat. So hold on. Let's. All right. They should be on in a moment. Reese and Andy, if you can't, there, Reese is here. All right, so if you have questions about any of our new features, any of our existing features, let us know. Caroline, I saw that you raised your hand, so if you have a question, let us know. Reese and Andy, were you guys catching anything in the chat? And you need me to start throwing questions at you?
Yeah, I did my best to capture some. Yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Do you want to start with target experiences, A/B testing more? What do you want to do?
Let's start with A/B testing since that's how we started. That's how we kicked everything off.
Okay, I'm gonna go top down. If you have any questions, just for the drop them in the chat. First one was from Elaine. Elaine had a question. We only use Shogun on certain landing pages, but not our main homepage. Is it possible to utilize the A/B testing tool against our Shopify theme page versus a Shogun page? So today we support the ability to launch A/B tests on your Shogun pages. So if you want to get an A/B test started, you would have to build your page in Shogun first and then launch the test from there. We're exploring ways to make it super easy to import your current pages over into Shogun. And we're also exploring a deeper integration with Shopify to do theme testing. But right now we support the ability to just test on your Shogun pages. Neil asked if we can you test UI components like tabs or accordion menus? Neil, to that, the answer is yes. We have those no-code elements available within the Shogun's visual editor, and you can modify your page variants to include tabs versus accordions. You can delete the part with the tabs on one variant, and then be able to test those two different section types head to head against one another in one of your tests. Stella had a question, and they mentioned we only use Shogun for a few pages, but not our homepage. Does it make sense to A/B test those pages, even though it's not the homepage? And the answer to that is absolutely. If you have any pages where you're driving traffic to, that is a great surface to start testing on. Every place you're driving traffic, maybe it's a landing page, a high traffic blog post. That's an opportunity where you can find an optimization to sell more product through those shopper journeys. Amanda mentioned, can I run an A/B test on multiple pages, or can it only be ran on one page? So the A/B tests are launched one page at a time today. However, you can also launch multiple pages, launch multiple tests at the same time. If you want to test on maybe your homepage over here and your landing page over here, you can have more than one test running at any given time. Last one that I have noted right now is from Zach. Can you test more than one section or container on an A/B test, or just one variant difference? And then, can you test specific changes on desktop versus mobile? So within Shogun's visual editor, when you create a new variant, you can create two variants or more. You can make any change you want. So on that second variant, you can delete a whole section, add a new section. You can reorder the content. You can make sure the changes you're making to the variants only applies to the mobile experience, and that would be just a mobile specific test. So you have the flexibility to make the impact of the test as small or large as you want. So with that, maybe I'll hand it over to Andy to start with the next set of questions.
Yeah, sounds good. I also captured some, but if I missed anything, please let me know in the chat. Happy to answer that as well. So the first one I had was, can this also compare my competitors' word ranking like SEMrush? SEMrush is like a tool that analyzes traffic, very similar to what we have today. The answer is today no. So what we're doing is looking at organic traffic coming into your site, to your domain. But I think as you saw on the coming soon slide, we do have plans to be able to try to replicate that kind of workflow. So for you to be able to look at a competitor's domain, understand what kind of traffic, what kind of keywords are currently getting to their store. And then, if you wanted to start generating AI blog content to try to siphon off some of that traffic, that's a use case that a lot of the merchants that we talk to are interested in. So we are actively looking at building that out. The next question was, it looks like this analysis includes all pages in the domain, not just Shogun generated pages. That's correct. So we're looking at any page where you're showing up in the top 100 for organic search results on Google. So As long as the URL on your site appears somewhere in the top 100, then you'll be able to see it through that view. Otherwise, it won't come up there because there's not enough current traffic coming from a keyword to that page. And then there's another question, which was, how does this differ from GA4? GA4 is a Google product that allows you to get insight into, again, like what kind of traffic is coming to your site. I'd say the sort of main differences between GA4 and what our tool does is, one, we're giving you like a little bit of additional information, stuff like difficulty and TPC. I haven't messed around in GA4 that recently, so that's my understanding is they don't have necessarily all those fields. The other two big ones I would say is like the clustering that we talked about. So not just giving you this big list of all the keywords, but actually trying to like help you make sense of them and to try to group them together in ways that can help you with a little bit more targeted content strategy to try to rank better. And then I think one thing we hear a lot is like the desire to cut down on the number of tools and like steps in a workflow. So the nice thing is you can sort of like start generating those blog content directly from Shogun. So you need to like jump between tools, do your analysis here, put it in a spreadsheet, then go into another tool to start experimenting and creating content. And then the next question I had is there any way to add filters or select items that you want to reference? Yeah, so the model will do its best to find relevant products based on both the keyword and the context that it knows about your store. So in the example that we looked at, I took a keyword about gloves, and then the model looked at all the products I had in my store and tried to recommend gloves and other related products that it thought were relevant. I didn't show it in the demo, but you can mention any product or collection in your store. So like, let's say you generated a blog and you're like, actually, I'd really love to highlight some other product that I have. You could absolutely do that manually, although our hope is that the model gets good enough that eventually it's like really smart about which of those products it's recommending. So hopefully we do a good job of figuring out what it is you're trying to highlight. And then the last one that I have noted here is does this use pre-existing page templates already built in Shogun? So by default, we'll just use like a very standard layout that will look similar to sort of like that rich text editor in a way where it'll be like a headline and then some body text, headline, body text, then with some product boxes and collections thrown in. Alternatively, as you saw, we can also use the generate with AI function. So what the AI will do is try to figure out what it thinks is like the optimal layout given the content and like the product boxes and everything else on the page. So we don't currently support being able to like use a pre-existing template that you've created. But if it's something that you're interested in, it's really good feedback for the team. We can always look at putting it on the roadmap. And those are all the ones I had recorded, but I can also go through and look here.
We had one come in, Andy, for you, for the AI generating content feature. Is there a branding tool where we can auto add any branding like logos, colors, fonts to use auto page builder instead of manually updating? That's from Austin.
Yeah, so by default, we'll use like whatever your Shopify theme is. So we'll like take whatever we can from your existing theme. The pages are editable in the visual editor just like any other page. So if you wanted to go in and put in like a new element, with your branding, you could definitely do that. But yeah, this is all good feedback for the team. If these are important elements for you, then we can definitely work on getting these on the roadmap.
Okay. All right. So Teresa, I think you're asking, can we opt into the AI content creator only? I think, are you asking like, can you only get access to that one feature? Like, can you pay for that one feature? Let me know if that's correct. Okay. Yeah. So we don't have that ability at the moment to offer features. Everything is done by tier. We will definitely take this back to the team though. If feature access as opposed to tier access is something you all are more interested in. But right now, you got to go into either the Grow or Advanced plan and get all of those features.
Oh, and I do see a question from Zach about the difference between GA4. Yeah, like this is what we're doing is definitely more on like the keyword research side, trying to generate ideas, things for you to go build. Having said that, we do have another tool, which is our SEO Insights tool, which does do some like on-page sort of like checks to make sure that your pages are adhering to SEO best practices to help you like make sure that you're adding meta text and descriptions, things that Google looks for when it goes to index those pages. So we have some of the functionality that you'd find in GA4 and some of what you'd find in a tool like SEMrush. It's just we're trying to bring them together into one place.
All right, cool. Reese, do we have some questions on target experiences that you want to cover?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and start going through that list here. I will also throw up a link to my calendar if you wanted to chat further about any questions. We're super available. Hey, what's up, Mike from the Ridge? How's it going? So Zach had a question, and also Ruben as well, around how we publish a page when there's either an A/B test or targeted experience launched. So when we publish a page, we're keeping the same URL. So there's not a split of the URLs. So Zach had a question about how GA4 can pick up the targeted experiences. So GA4, Zach, you're right in the sense that it would see all the traffic coming to that one page, but we do have an integration with GA4 that allows you to break out different audiences for each of the variants that you have for each segment. So you're able to get insight within GA4 into how each of the variants are performing. There was a question about Klaviyo loading time from Zach as well. When a shopper loads a page from with the Klaviyo targeting enabled, there's about an 80 millisecond delay during that page load while we ask Klaviyo for that shopper to make sure that we deliver that shopper a personalized experience. So there's a slight impact on performance. So yeah. And then in terms of accuracy of segmentation, it kind of depends on the targeting capability. So for example, a UTM parameter is very precise and will always be delivered correctly. For things like the shopper's location, we're making an API request when that page is loaded. And if the shopper has ad blockers on, for example, then that request would fail. And then we would simply serve the users the default version of the page. So there's some nuances, but it's around 90, 98, 99% accurate in most cases. I want to read Mike's question here. What email providers are compatible with target experiences? So right now we support an integration with Klaviyo as the primary source of segment providers for targeted experiences. I see Joe earlier had a question around MailChimp. We don't support MailChimp right now, but we are looking to expand our integrations with this feature. And there's going to be, the ability to provide feedback to the team, and we'll use that to inform our future integration roadmap. We're getting tight on time here. Maura, do you want to kind of wrap it up, and then we can move on?
Yes. Yes, we will wrap it up. So here's the deal. If we didn't get to your question, we will go through all the questions and we will make sure that we will get back to you if we don't have a chance to answer live. There will be a recording sent out. We will send out this recording later today. It's going to take a little while to generate, but I promise you before midnight East Coast time tonight, I will have an email in your inboxes with this recording. If you have questions for us, both Reese and Andy have dropped their Calendly links. We'd love to talk to you guys. Again, we created these features because we heard from you. So we want to know what you think of them, how you're feeling about them, what you need. We're here for you, basically. If you want a more personalized demo, if you do not have access to these features, if you're considering upgrading to either Grow or Advanced, our CSM team would love to talk to you. They would love to offer you a personalized demo, walk you through more, give you some ideas on target experiences, A/B testing. There's a link down at the bottom. I will also include it in the email I send out later today with the replay. Yeah, we are right at time, but thank you guys so much for joining us. I hope you like this webinar. We want to do more. We want to give you all as many resources as possible for using our tool. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out directly, respond to any email, we'll go to my inbox, hop on a Calendly call with Reese or Andy. We'd love to hear from you. And thank you again. Austin, yeah, if you want to talk about target experiences, head over to Reese's Calendly. It's in the link, and I'll also include them in the replay email as well. So thank you again. Have a great rest of your day and we'll talk soon.